Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me here on another video. If you guys are new here, my name's Shereen and I talk all things sewing and homemaking, so if that's something that you think you're into, then I would love if you join the sewing family. So today is a really exciting video for me. I'm going to be sharing with you all my me-made items of 2022, which has also been my first full year of garment sewing, which has been so incredibly enjoyable, and you guys as the sewing community have been absolutely fab. I've loved interacting with each and every one of you, and thank you so much for joining me on this adventure. So let's get on into the video. So I'm going to be starting with the one that I'm wearing, which I think has to be the most wearable and favourite of all of my makes this year. So this is the Mia dress, and I've made it out of this lovely viscose fabric, which at first I wasn't too sure about when I saw it as a roll, but actually looks amazing as a dress. And as you can see, it's perfect to even transition into autumn winter, but also into spring summer. Like today, I've popped a roll neck long sleeve top underneath, and it's been perfect with some black tights. But yeah, in the summer, again, you can just throw this on and it's perfect. It has 3 tiers, which is very lovely and flouncy, which obviously you can make to whatever length you want. Mine kind of is more of a midi style design. It's got a lovely V-shaped neckline, and the sleeves have actually tweaked slightly. Originally it was coming up to here and looked a little bit squarish, so I made it into a little bit more of a cap sleeve, which I think is super flattering. To be honest, there's nothing I would really change with this, and I am planning to make some more in some other coloured fabrics. But yeah, viscose was a great choice for this. It's really quite insulating, but also drapes really nicely. So I'm so happy with this make. I've had so much wear out of this, being able to pair it up with chunky boots and some cute little shoes as well. So definitely a nice all-rounder. The pattern itself was super easy to make, so if you're a beginner and haven't made any dresses before, this is a great one. It has some lovely little challenging pieces like the gathered skirt, which if you haven't done that before, this is a nice one to do as well. And yeah, absolutely love it. Highly recommend. Now the next piece that I've been super proud of is this one on my mannequin here. This was actually a self-drafted dress. It's a maxi length with a slit just above the knee. It's got a beautiful alter neck detail, and if I spin her around, a lovely opaque detail and a lovely bow here, and really nicely shaped. Now what I really loved about this fabric is that on the actual inner part it's very silky, so you don't get the itch of the glittery specks, although you do feel it on the outside. I don't think I can get hold of this fabric anymore, but I will link something similar if I can find it. But yeah, it's absolutely stunning. There's a couple of tweaks that I think I would want to make on the bottom area. I think it's a little bit too figure hugging for me, but easily rectifiable. I'll pop some panels in just to make it a little bit more wearable. But to be honest, I've got a couple of wears out of this so far and I've absolutely loved it. Now I'm going to be starting with the rest of the mix on my rail here. At the moment, nicely colour coded. I'm not going to do it in any particular order. I'm just going to go across on the rail. Now this was actually a thrift flip from a Zara maxi skirt, which I'll link the video down below if you haven't seen that. But this is now a 2-piece set. So I made it into a mini ruffled skirt and a matching top, which has off the shoulder sleeves and this lovely tie detail where you can tie it just behind your neck and make it into a halter neck style, and it has a lovely invisible zipper at the back, which actually came up really nicely. I don't normally like doing invisible zippers, but this turned out amazing. So super happy with that. But yeah, I've had quite a bit of wear out of this since last summer, and I'll be planning to take it on to my next holiday. But loving these colours, love white and blue. Perfect for those lovely beach sunny holidays. Now this next one was actually my first ever shirred item, and to be honest, if I was to make this again, I would probably want to make it a little bit longer because it only just about covers the bust area. But it was a really lovely learning experience actually, and I made this top out of a really lovely, I think it's called the Rose and Hubble range. I'll link it down below because I know it's still available, but I love the print. The colour as well is absolutely gorgeous, and I must say it was successfully shirred and quite a nice beginner's piece to do if you've never shirred before. So highly recommend. I have a feeling at the time that's all the fabric I had, but if I was to do it again, I probably would just make it into a top and do kind of a gathered base. But I love the ruffle detailing at the top, which naturally occurs with the shirring. And yeah, this has mainly been worn on a holiday underneath sort of a linen shirt, but again, one that I learned a lot from doing this little simple project, and one that I recommend if you are also new to shirring. Now this next top, I was really inspired to make something quite sort of Middle Eastern, which to be honest I don't think this is, but I wanted something a little bit more cultural to take to my holiday to Istanbul, and I got so much wear out of this. I'll pop a couple of pictures up so you can see how I kind of styled it, but it has this lovely ruffled detailing on the sleeves, 3/4 length, and a lovely v-neck line. I think personally for me, I'm not really a v-neck line person, so if I was to make this again, I probably would make it more round necked. My colleague also actually made this and absolutely loved it as well. So yeah, it's a really nice simple one to add some staples to your wardrobe, or you can even jazz it up with a really fun fabric like I have. I did pop a couple of little darts at the back just to give it a little bit more shape, because it is a little bit boxy, but this is a free sewing pattern, so amazing for what it is. Really nice instructions, really easy to follow. And this lovely fabric is actually, I believe it's a cotton, but it feels a little bit like a linen. It's quite a strange fabric, but it feels super soft, super breathable, super light. There's some mild creasing I feel, but nothing that you can particularly notice. I'll link this fabric down below because I know it's still available and I do absolutely love it. I have got some spare fabric left over, so I'm going to be making something else to go with it. Haven't decided what just yet, but yeah, loving this. Really lovely and fun. And yeah, again, a really nice one to do if you're quite new to ruffles. Now, this next one is very much a prototype and definitely not a finished product. It is a self-drafted piece by myself, but I wanted to give a go at making some swimwear, which I've never done before, and I must admit this was so much fun to make. It does look a little bit distorted at the moment, but once it's kind of stretched out and worn, it looks really, really nice. I'll pop some pictures up of me wearing it because it's quite hard to understand otherwise. I did make it reversible, so you can actually make it white as well by turning it the other way around. And there's a lovely little tie detail just on one side of the hip. I think at the time I did this mainly because of getting it on and off. With this fabric, it wasn't a four-way stretch. But actually, I really love this design detail. And I'm going to continue to persevere and learn how to sew swimwear because I definitely got a feel for it with this project. And I'm going to perfect this design until I get it completely right, and I want to make it available as a pattern to you guys. So yeah, I'll definitely be making it in many, many colours. I do have a video actually coming up on the process of making this, but I think I'm going to post that more towards springtime, so do subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't already done so, just so you get alerted when that goes live. Next we have this lovely peplum styled dress with a ruffle detail which kind of goes off the shoulder or can be worn up, whichever is preferable. Now this is again one that I self-drafted and I'm so proud of it. I've made it using this jersey / crepe fabric, which was actually Remnant, so I don't think I can get hold of this anymore. It was super beautiful to work with. I especially loved the ruffle detailing and the peplum design at the bottom, and I've made it very fitted and shaped, so as you can see it kind of goes in slightly in at the waist and then out a little bit towards the bottom. And yeah, I absolutely love this dress. I wore this so much in the summer of this year, or last year now because we're now in 2023, but yeah, I absolutely love it and I would definitely make another one of these again. I do want to kind of figure out how to do PDF patterns. I'm going to be learning how to do that, and I will produce this on my blog once I figure that all out. But obviously I will send out an email if you're subscribed to my newsletter so that you can get alerted when I manage to make it. But yeah, I really love this one and I would definitely make this in other colours and other fabrics. But yeah, really beautiful, and I'm sure I will get many more years of wear to come. Now this next one was a really fun one to make, and actually you guys voted for this one. On my community tab I sometimes put up some polls and you guys decided you wanted to see a sew along of the free sewing pattern, the Gracie dress, which I have right here. And I made it out of this needle cord fabric in this lovely burnt orange colour, and I've used buttons here that I've thrifted from the charity shop, which just looks absolutely stunning. Super comfortable to wear, really versatile piece. I've been wearing it with jumpers underneath, long sleeve tops, and even in the summertime could even wear this with sort of a white t-shirt underneath. The only thing I think I would do differently with this pattern is maybe start the buttons up a little bit higher, Or what I could do as well is add a little popper here, just because you can see where it's tugging a little bit here. Just the angle of this arch and the nature of where the buttons are, it's just not hanging just right. But saying that, I'm really, really proud of it, and it's one that I've already worn quite a lot. I've taken it to the pumpkin patch, so I'll pop some pictures up so you can see what it looks like in full length. But yeah, really, really love this one, and again, cannot wait to reach out for it every year. Now, as you can probably tell, I do love a burnt orange colour, so I also made this bolero style top in this cotton poplin fabric. So this I also made in a viscose fabric, which I do have a video for, using the free sewing pattern, the Wilder top. Now this was the original top that I made first, and actually this was my first project using viscose, and I learned so much, and I made so many mistakes with this one, but this is still super wearable and I really, really love it. This one I've done a little bit differently to the other one, where I've put elastic in the sleeves just so it can kind of pull the sleeves up, and I still wear this a lot. I really, really do love it. I think the only thing I would do maybe slightly differently is to make the coverage a bit bigger here, but I think that's more to do with the fact that I hung the viscose before I actually cut it, which was a huge mistake. So I decided to make it again, but in this cotton poplin, which definitely holds its shape a little bit better, and I really love the colour of this. I haven't done the elasticated sleeves on here, just to be a bit different, but I thought this would be a lovely throw on top over your holiday outfits, just to cover your shoulders and to complete your look. But yeah, this pattern, like I said, is a free sewing pattern, and it's one that needs to be cut on the bias. So if you haven't done a sewing pattern doing that before, this is a really good piece to kind of practice. It looks easy, it's a little bit more challenging if you haven't cut on the bias before, especially if you use a fabric like viscose. So I'd say start off with the cotton, maybe work into a viscose, but a really versatile piece to have in your wardrobe, just for those chilly evenings on holiday, and just goes with absolutely everything. So this next one is this lovely maxi jersey skirt that I self-drafted. Obviously very easy to make, essentially they are just rectangles. I made a little elasticated waistband to go with it, but this has been such a versatile piece and staple in my wardrobe. I've worn this so much on holiday, and it's such a lovely thing just to throw on with a simple white top. But this fabric is actually a bed sheet originally, and I've still got some left, so I'm thinking of making a halter neck racer top, kind of cropped, just so you have a little bit of midriff here showing. I think that would work really, really lovely together. But such an essential piece to have in your wardrobe, an absolute staple, super versatile, and super easy to style things up with things that you already have. So I would highly recommend considering having a piece like this in your wardrobe. Now this I don't think was in 2022, so I could be mistaken. I think this was from 2021, just at the end of the year. But this is a self-drafted dungarees dress. Again, I think there was a video on this, but this was a huge learning curve for so many reasons. I mean, I probably would use stronger interfacing here just so there's a little bit more structure, but I learned so much with making this with the twin stitching along the front pocket here, and also just making good shaped trousers and bottoms. As well, it was also my first time putting in the buckles, which was interesting. But yeah, again, a piece that I really, really love. Great to wear with a white t-shirt or a black long sleeve top underneath. But yeah, one that I really, really love. Now, this is another dress that I have absolutely adored. The shape of this is just so fab, and it's so easy to make. Now, this I made using the Jess Dang tutorial, so completely free to make. I think Hand by London also has a tutorial on their Instagram, so I'll see if I can link them down below so you can make one like this if you wish. But it has a lovely shirred bodice detail here, and lovely elasticated puff sleeves, lovely square neckline, and yeah, I've had so much wear out of this, it's incredible. Again, really lovely piece just to throw on. One thing that I did do differently to the tutorial is that I didn't share the back. I essentially just kind of did a rectangular base and did some darts to give it a little bit more shape, just because I was lazy like that. But yeah, I think this is great. This fabric has actually been lovely for the volume because it's a seersuckered cotton poplin gingham, and I would say it's a little bit rough to the touch, but the way that it hangs and holds, it's given a really lovely shape and hang to the garment. But I would definitely love to make this in more fabrics and colours. And yeah, it really didn't take me that long at all. And again, I had so much wear out of it. One thing I regret doing is that I did make it a little bit shorter. It's now just below my knee, but If I was to do it again, I probably would make it a little bit longer and even maybe add a ruffle just at the edge. But yeah, again, a piece that I really love and will reach for time and time again. Now, this next piece is this gilet, which is a sewing pattern by Simply Sews, and it's the, I'll link it down below, but it's this really lovely sort of waterfall styled gilet with this asymmetric zip detailing, so it gives you this really lovely cowl neck detail. Now, this was inspired by a piece that I had from H&M many years ago, and unfortunately got really damaged, but I really loved it, and I found this pattern which is pretty much identical, and yeah, it's turned out really well. This was a really challenging one to do just because of the fact that it's double layered and the insertion of the zip is a little bit odd and just things like that, but I'm definitely going to be making more of these. I want to make one out of Suedette fabric, but also in sort of a faux leather fabric as well. Now, this one is a very micro houndstooth pattern, which to be honest was just mainly for a toile, but it's definitely a wearable toile and one that I've worn quite a few times. A good sort of layering piece under your jacket. Now, this is what it looks like with the zip ups. As you can see, it's still a lovely shape to it. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be making some more of these. It wasn't the easiest pattern, but I think now that I've done it once, I could definitely do it much quicker and better the second time round. Now, this next piece is actually made as a ski base layer, and it was actually inspired by a fleece dog's tooth, the houndstooth, I always get confused, print. And if you haven't seen my Italian Alps vlog, I have talked about this top in quite a bit of detail, but essentially this is a Ponte Roma fabric, lovely and soft, slightly slippery to the touch, stretch fabric. I've used a twin stitch on all the ends, and I made a lovely matching little scrunchie to go with it, as well as a matching sort of headband with a knot detail, which I'll show you in a moment at the end. This is such a lovely fit. The pattern does say to do this in a 4-way stretch fabric, and this is a 2-way stretch fabric. So if I was to do it again in this fabric, I probably would definitely size up 2 sizes. I essentially didn't follow the instructions, so I don't know what I expected there. But yes, I think this also works really nicely as just a normal top, or as a general base layer under any clothes, or even as skiing. Because it is a little bit snug, what I have done is ordered some plain black scuba fabric, and I kind of want to pop in a panel here and on the arms. I already had popped in a panel of the same fabric, and if you can see here, and I also popped an extra sort of diamond shaped panel underneath just to give it a little bit more wiggle room. But I actually think a black panel would look really stylish with this and almost give like a streamlined look, so definitely what I'm going to do. It's still wearable, but I just want a little bit more wiggle room. But yeah, this was, completely forgot to tell you what sewing pattern this is. This was the McCall's M7531, I believe, and there's a lovely range of 2 different necklines and different lengths. So essentially this was supposed to be a dress, but I just made it into a long top. And yeah, one that I really recommend actually, a really versatile piece and perfect for any jersey fabrics. So if you are new to sewing jersey fabrics, I would recommend this sewing pattern as it's an easy one to start with. And yeah, a really nice piece to keep as a staple in your wardrobe. Now, this garment, again, I think I made this at the end of 2021, but one that I've worn so much that I cannot not mention this coat slash cardigan. This was actually made using the Nora cardigan sewing pattern, and I hacked it into a really long maxi length with a slit down the side and a little waist tie, but it has these lovely dropped sleeved detail here, and I just really love it. I think the only thing I would do differently is this arch in the collar here. I probably would just make it a little bit more diagonal and straight, but that's personal preference, and I've had so much wear out of this. The fabric as well is just fabulous. It's a lovely jacquard knit fabric, super thick. Well, I say super thick, sort of moderately thick. So yeah, I've worn it this winter with lots of layers underneath, but you could definitely wear this transitioning into autumn, winter, spring, summer really nicely. So a really nice sewing pattern if you want to use some of your heavier weight fabrics and you're not quite sure what to make with them. So I'm going to show you some of the smaller sewing projects that I've done this year. Some of them actually not sewing, some of them crocheted and cross stitching, but it was so much fun and something I definitely want to dabble in a little bit more. But how cute is he? He is so adorable. There's things like the little bit of puckering here where I've changed the colour in between, and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely really love him. He's super, super cute. He actually came out of a crochet magazine, and everything was supplied in the kit to make him, so that was really a lot of fun. This one I've just completed while I was on holiday, and I've cross-stitched in the past, but it's been so many years, and I found this kit by Cotton & Clara, I believe, and again it has everything that you need in there to make your project. And this one was so much fun to make, and look how cute it is. I found this so therapeutic and something really easy to do in front of the TV without having to concentrate too hard. And yeah, super cute. Everything was included, including the little frame as well, and something I kind of just want to hang on the wall as a nice little piece of decoration. Now this actual blanket here I made as well, which was also a lot of fun to make. But yeah, this wasn't this year, this is something that I've made in the past and just thought it looks really, really cute. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see some more sewing videos from me, then I'll pop some videos here of some more of my sewing plans and projects. But until next time,